Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back. My name is Abby, or Spaceman Chuck, and today we are going to be looking at Steven Spielberg's latest film, The Fabelmans. In Steven Spielberg's latest feature, a loose retelling of his adolescent years and early relationship with film, not even one of the all-time greats can fly above tired biopic tropes and narrative beats. There's undoubtedly so much to love about The Fabelmans, namely from the sole fact that we're getting such a personal project from one of the greatest to ever do it. But besides a few moments that actually pose something unique, the film teeters through mediocre melodrama before finding a sweet spot. Thankfully, by the time the third act comes along, it manages to end on a high note. In 1952, 6-year-old Sammy Fabelman sees his first film in theaters, The Greatest Show on Earth. He becomes obsessed, using his father's 8mm camera to record anything and everything. 10 years later, 16-year-old Sammy, played by Gabriel LaBelle, knows he wants to pursue film, recording short films with his Boy Scout troop and experimenting with film techniques in his free time. When his father, played by Paul Dano, buys him an editing machine, Sammy finds a secret within the footage of a family vacation, altering the course of his life and his family's forever. When the Fabelmans are forced to move to California, Sammy and his mother, played by Michelle Williams, feel as if their lives have been uprooted, yearning for a sense of emotional safety, each in their own way. It's often hard to honestly showcase yourself in any autobiographical piece. Spielberg's own is tinted in a bittersweet nostalgia that feels more spectacular than it does natural. Not to say that wasn't expected, but oddly enough, his signature style feels clashing with that of the smaller scale nature of this story. The film posts its natural moments in such a maximalist manner. Some of the nuances get lost within the storytelling, often feeling like Spielberg's not truly working in his wheelhouse, which in itself is exciting in a way too. Such an established director still experimenting around. Williams' portrayal of Spielberg's mother, a centerpiece for the story, feels saccharine to a degree that pulled me out a lot more than it pulled me in. Yet, though the film doesn't quite always work, that's where it also swayed me, through its beating heart. Spielberg's love of film brims so clearly through this that it's hard not to be swept away from time to time, though it's a messier outcome than we've come to expect from the director. There's a scene in which Sammy's uncle, played by Judd Hirsch, essentially barges into the Fabelman home and takes control of the entire film. He explains to Sammy that they're just like one another, chasing art over family. This alters the course of Sammy's life and the film, respectively. Spielberg throws away the subtlety, or lack thereof, in a manner that actually matches his stylistic efforts here, allowing the film to find some much-needed momentum. The family drama, unfortunately, to me, feels stale in its depiction, using some cheap plot devices such as finding secrets within pictures multiple times, or a reductive portrayal of bullying to carry the narrative along. And even if this was a truly accurate depiction of events, Spielberg should know more than anyone that doesn't always make for great cinema. Rogan feels miscast, and his character is lacking in the essential emotional weight, ending off his and Sammy's relationship on such a goofy note that just feels odd in context with the rest of the film. LaBelle is perfect in this, however, and he adds such a cheeky yet pained charm that allows it all to end on such a high note. Julia Butters also manages to steal the show at least once in every movie she's been in so far, and David Lynch's performance, of course, is just as wonderful as one would expect. The Fabelmans is a movie that shies away from greatness, from a director that has crafted more than a handful of some of the most iconic films of all time. I just can't help but feel a repetitive sense of emptiness throughout this film. Even from this time period, we've seen films done better before. It doesn't have the nuanced excitement of Licorice Pizza, nor the creative flair of Richard Linklater's Apollo 10½, which just came out earlier this year. That said, when the film picks up in the third act and focuses on more of the unique pieces within the narrative, it takes off, ending the film on a note that just feels so un-Spielberg, yet so playful in a manner that matches a young Sammy as he takes off into the Paramount Pictures backlot. Even through all the hardships, it ends up full of life. So hopeful. So with all those reasons stated, I'm gonna have to give The Fabelmans a 3.5 out of 5. It is nowhere near my favorite Spielberg, nor is it anywhere near my favorite films of the year. That's not to say that it's not a good movie though, and many are gonna find it great. It's just not necessarily for me, but that said, I also don't think Spielberg managed to complete everything he set out to do with this film. I don't think it's as smart as he thinks it is, and I don't think that all the meta elements within it add much to it. A lot of the times, like I said before, I think his style was just clashing with the scale of the narrative in the first place. That said, it is still worth a watch. Go check it out in theaters. He's still one of the greatest living directors, and the fact that we're still getting movies from him is a treat. So, thank you for watching, everybody. My name is Abby, or Spaceman Chuck. I have more reviews, content coming out soon, so make sure to stay tuned.